Hey everybody, it's Gary Lucas. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful night here in Maastricht. It's 9 p.m. here in the Netherlands, and I'm so glad. I'm so happy at the way the election went, and I believe in my soul that it's going to stick. But of course, the orange-haired monster is going to try all sorts of tricks to subvert the results, but I predict that they're going to fail. And anyway, I know there was an explosion of joy across the U.S. when it was announced. It was about 4 o'clock here, I think, or about 5, when Pennsylvania was officially declared for Biden. And I did speak to Caroline shortly thereafter, and I've never heard her in such a good mood in quite some time. Also because I'm coming home on Wednesday, but needless to say, she was out in the street and people were whooping it up. And I posted a little while ago, like the Times account of New York, but it was definitely eerie to see how few people were still out in the street, and I don't blame them because the epidemic, as you know, is raging all over the place, especially in the last week or so, which is very discouraging, but I mean, we should all take heart, and I'll just shut up and play a little bit now for you. Yes, that was a composition called Take Me to the Casbah. And I wrote that uh, giving a master class and teaching at the Conservatoire de Henri Dutilleux outside Paris a few years ago. I was invited by one of the instructors, David Konopnitsky, who's an old friend of mine, a French-Jewish guy, really good guitarist, who has a band called Ottorino, recorded for Tzaddik. I think they did a couple of records. And anyway, I was inspired while I was there. I can't tell you what exactly triggered it off, but maybe it was the scenery. Students were really friendly and nice. And sometimes, I don't know, I get inspired at odd moments. I never can really force anything, although a few things that I wrote emerged when I was handed a deadline. Sometimes, like, pressure of that nature will do it. As far as, like, songwriting, basically my songwriting starts and ends usually with a guitar instrumental first and foremost. That's how Grace and Mojo Pin and, for instance, began. And I think a good instrumental holds its own, and if it sticks as an instrumental, it might be a great foundation for a song, depending on if I'm writing it alone, words and music, or if I have a collaborator. And I'm in a very interesting collaboration right now here in Holland, which is why I've stayed over. About to finish up a record with a young acoustic bass virtuoso and a singer named Peter Willems, and I had him here as a special guest shortly after I arrived here, and then we played a set at the So What's Next festival in Eindhoven last weekend, and I did my Spanish Dracula score. And I think if you go to the official page for the So What's Next festival on Facebook, they posted clips of the two hits, and check them out. Or if I can remember, I have a terrible short-term memory. Gee, I wonder why. After all these years, actually off the wagon, as it were, I used to love marijuana. I would come over to Holland and copiously indulge in all the splendiferous varieties, but I haven't had a puff in about a dozen years. I'm not virtue signaling or anything here. I'm not trying to, but I just found that I enjoyed life better on an even keel. I was never much of a drinker, for instance, and as far as dabbling with other drugs, I did pretty much everything under the sun, short of shooting them. But for all the junkies with badges of honor out there, good luck to you. I was actually close to, this is an interesting story. When I was a boy in Syracuse, New York, I was more or less in a set of the Lunatic Fringe, aka Bohemian Intellectuals. And they were a motley crew, all of us. There were many red diaper babies whose parents were former avowed communists who had managed to squeak through the McCarthy era and land gigs teaching at Syracuse University and in the city school system. So their children, their progeny were very left-wing. I was like a member of this crew. And anyway, I had a friend who's passed on, and he lived in a suburb of Syracuse called DeWitt with I think it was his grandmother. I don't know what happened to his parents, but he was a cool guy, but he had turned this place into a shooting den. And so I saw up close and personal, various friends of mine undergo this ritual. And I was, tempted, and in fact got so far as to send one of these friends out to cop heroin for me. I think I was about 17 at the time. And lucky for me, he went out and got it and then did it up himself and came back and said, I don't know, I lost your money or something. So I just took it in stride, but I think I came within that close of going all the way, as they say. And thank God I didn't, because I probably would have liked it too much, But having said that, I did have some medical problems of an intestinal nature over the years. And the last surgery I had to try and correct this problem left me with an acquired habit, let us say, for opioids. So I was an early inductee into the hazy twilight universe of opiate addiction, insofar as the pills I was put on to combat withdrawal effects were very powerful in themselves. And anyway, it provided enough of a maintenance therapy for me to get through the next year and a half until I weaned myself off these. I probably should have done it a lot quicker, but I really had a taste of early withdrawal, and I didn't know what was going on, and it was quite distressing to me. So yeah, I've been there, done that, more or less. But all that is to say that you can't tell anybody anything. Lou Reed once said that to me, and I think that's pretty much true. So I don't mean to sound preachy, but actually when I'm asked to give talks to young people, and vis-a-vis my stance on drugs, I'm all for legalization in that sense. But at the same time, don't hurt yourself, kids. But you can't tell anybody anything. Had I listened to a lot of advice that I rejected at a young age, I think I would have been better off. But what the heck? You do what you do. You do what you can. So anyway, when I'm asked, like for instance in Mexico, I've given many concerts at the U.S. Embassy's library, the Biblioteca Nacional, and I love to play down there for young, really kind of disaffected, many delinquent kids or kids without parents who they bring in for these concerts. And, I'll say what I said just now. Basically, everybody has their own path, and you have to sort of learn on your own. But, I don't think I needed any sort of stimulation to write the music that I did. I mean, I know when I wrote Grace and Mojo Pin, I was probably pretty high on marijuana. That was sort of my drug du jour. But I don't miss it in the slightest. To me, I was told by Don Van Vliet, it's like really a cheap toy. But, they're legalizing it. I guess Oregon just legalized every drug under the sun. So good on them. I hope they don't have a run on the pharmacies there, but... I'm going to just get out of this tuning for a second. And what else can I tell you? I'm really happy with this record that we're doing, and it's sounding real good. It's a lot of fun to play with Peter. And I don't know when it's coming out, but probably sooner than later. And I'm going to, when I get back, go straight into a new Gods and Monsters album I've been writing. New songs for, and hope to be able to get into a studio with these guys. And for years it's been me, Ernie Brooks on bass, Jason Candler on sax, Billy Fick on drums, and we'll see if I can assemble the troops, and if not, well, I have a few other projects on the back burner. So I think the whole trick in staying in music is to just keeping busy, and I always thought a diversity of projects was the best. And most people get in there and either they have their one thing, like the one trick pony, one sound they're known for, and they either conquer the universe or they go out of business. And I knew I was in it for the long haul when I made the decision to do this. So. For me, a multiplicity of projects was the way to go. But different strokes for different folks, I might think. Okay, now I want to get this thing just right in tune for you. Well. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This must be at least half an hour. And I think I'll go watch Borat 2. And yeah, they have Netflix here. So it's a pleasure, as always, to play for you. And big hug. Keep it real. West Side. Boom shaka. All right, I'll see you on Tuesday. Tuesday, my final night here. And okay, I'll prepare something extra special for you, but probably not a hash cake. Anyway, love you. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great weekend. Bye now.